Most times when you see a title like this, it's usually just like, you know, clickbait YouTubers trying to be all doom and gloom. Well, this video is off to a great start. As soon as I finished recording that intro, my camera ran out of storage, so I had to go through and delete some old files. Anyways, today, I really don't want to hone in on all the doom and gloom sad stuff, because that's not how I like to look at stuff. That being said, I do think it's worth having a genuine conversation about the state of this side mode in 2024. Also, for anybody curious, I am playing the default Shinonuma, just, you know, Black Ops 3 Zombies map, but I'm using the Modern Warfare Zombies custom mod. If this mod looks interesting to you, or if you'd like to try it out for yourself, I will have a link down in the description so you guys can go download it and try it for yourself. It is a really fun mod. But anyways, with all that being said, you know, with the reveal of Black Ops 6, it's really had me thinking about what Zombies is gonna be like and what it's really gonna do this year. Now, don't get me wrong, I love Black Ops 4. I love Black Ops Cold War. Both of those were genuinely amazing, and in some ways, I would say underrated games in my opinion. But if we're gonna be honest, in terms of just like sheer numbers, like just looking at the facts and the charts and everything like that, Black Ops 3, at least as far as content creation is concerned, and I'm assuming probably player numbers as well, is arguably the most popular Call of Duty Zombies game in 2024. And while I obviously don't see anything wrong with that, I mean, look at Black Ops 3. This game is absolutely amazing. It had custom zombies, and even beyond custom zombies, even if you're playing on console, I mean, you have 14 amazing maps to play right there. Not only the maps that were released in Black Ops 3, but also all of the remakes from World at War, Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2. And then when you're on the PC side of things and you just, you know, you toss custom zombies into the package, yeah, it's literally like infinite content right there. But that's the thing. We had games with custom zombies in the past, like World at War Zombies, and yet even with something like that, something like Black Ops 1 or Black Ops 2 was able to flourish despite, you know, that infinite amount of content still existing. You know, there was still enough attention being shown to whatever the current game was at the time. Whereas right now, you know, we got like Modern Warfare 3 Zombies, for example, and while yes, it is a different experience, it's not a round-based experience, it's still zombies, yet right now, you know, we're only halfway through the game's life cycle, and not only is that mode essentially getting no support, but I'd rather just come back and play the Modern Warfare Zombies mod on Black Ops 3 rather than dive in and play Modern Warfare Zombies at the moment. And that has nothing to do with the quality of the mode, or literally, there's nothing wrong with Modern Warfare Zombies itself. In fact, I have poured hundreds of hours into the mode. I absolutely love it, but at this point, for those that don't know, Treyarch are the ones that mainly developed that mode, and they're just gone. You know, Treyarch isn't even working on the mode at this point. It is just Sledgehammer pushing out skeletal updates just to keep the mode somewhat relevant and somewhat alive, but they are not doing any further like actual extensive content production for that mode. Sure, we'll get some ether worms, sure, we might see some new objectives coming to the game, but otherwise, like, that mode is already dead. They've already, like, we already know there's nothing new really coming to that mode unless they really want to surprise us for some reason, or unless there's so much backlash that they have to do it. And that's why I am fearful not only for Black Ops 6 Zombies, but just the future of zombies as a whole. You see, the way that Activision works, they do this funny thing where you would think that if something does really well, you would want to put your heart and soul into it and put as many developers on it as possible to just keep the players coming back day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year to keep experiencing the mode. But what Activision seems to do is they see that something works, and then they make their money from that that initial mode that drops, right? The initial thing that does good, but then they pull all their developers off of it after they've made enough money, and then they put all of them onto the next thing, so then they can try to make the next money farm, even though they aren't tending to their current money farm per se, and therefore the sales drop off, the players drop off, and then they aren't even interested in whatever comes next. If you want to push your shop with all of your bundles and monetization and stuff like that, and if you want to keep players coming back, and if you want them to keep spending money, keep your game growing, keep working on the game. If you give us content and a reason to keep coming back, and a reason to keep playing, and a reason to keep accidentally stumbling upon the shop, then yeah, you'll make more money eventually regardless. But if we don't have a reason to play, and if we don't have a reason to keep coming back, well then, I mean, yeah, I mean, then we just won't be back. You won't be making your money. And I mean, hey, maybe they don't care about that. Maybe they know, hey, you know, we'll sucker them into paying the full $70 to $100 for the brand new game when it drops, even if in theory that was their main thing there, and they didn't actually care about like the monetization in the shop, which clearly they do, because even for the people that pay for the premium game, of course they want you to go into the shop and buy all the stuff there too. It still just doesn't make any sense to me when you already have a yearly franchise as is, so the life cycle for these games is astronomically short compared to basically any other game in existence, but you pull all the developers off of it midway through the year, essentially making it what, a 6-month life cycle, at least as far as zombies content is concerned. Ooh, a ray gun Mark II. Ooh, you know, I don't even know if I want to use this thing right now just because it's so broken, but anyways, I hope I've driven that point home. You know, Like, we just need support this year. Above all else, we just need support, like, throughout the year, consistent content, consistent map drops, updates, modes, whatever it be. And next, beyond that, I think I speak for the entire Zombies community when I say that we definitely need some round base this year. Now, you know, I was defending Modern Warfare Zombies, right? And I still am. I do love that mode. I truly do believe that developers should be allowed to make whatever they make, whenever they want to make it. Don't restrict your vision, alter your vision, change your vision, or sacrifice what you actually want to make just for the sake of the fans. I would much rather see new innovations and new modes and potentially new fan favorite things come to the game rather than them just, you know, regurgitate the same old stuff or just keep doing the same old tried and true formulas. But at this point, considering how much the community has had to suffer since Cold War, if they could just do the fans a favor, just give us this one W and just give us at least one round-based map, one masterpiece, I would be so grateful. Now, I've said it time and time across my videos, and this one statement alone is gonna give me a bunch of dislikes, and I really don't care. Likewise, with how I love Modern Warfare Zombies, I also loved a game like, say, Vanguard Zombies. I had a lot of fun even at launch with Duran Fong and Terra Maledicta, and then when Shi No Numa came out, I absolutely adored that map. It was an excellent remake of Shi No Numa and the Archon. Sure, I don't really even go back to play the map itself that much, but the Easter egg in it was great. The boss fight was a lot of fun, and while yes, the ending might have been a little anticlimactic and clearly there was like the negative budget put into it, it was still a really cool boss fight. But if we're gonna be honest with ourselves, with Modern Warfare Zombies having such a limited amount of content as is and having absolutely zero replayability, once you unlock all the schematics, once you complete all the content, there's literally no reason to play the game, like not at all. Even if you want to make the argument of, oh, you know, you could like make a new character, like even then, once you make that new character, the amount of time you have to play until your character is like max leveled out with like a max rucksack and you know you get everything that you need, like there's really no reason to keep going. Whereas something like Zombies is infinitely replayable, like round-based Zombies, because obviously, you know, you start up a new match, you start on round 1, you try to get more powerful, and then you just kind of do the thing, see what round you can get to, you know, it's infinitely replayable in that sense. Modern Warfare Zombies, your main goal is to just get schematics, grind out the missions, and then when you complete all of that content, again, there's literally like nothing for you to do, literally nothing at all, unless you somehow enjoy mindlessly grinding out contracts, but which, hey, you know, more power to you. I mean, if that core gameplay loop is fun enough to you, then like awesome. But when the main goal of those contracts is to help you get more powerful and unlock those new things and achieve those things in the mode, but then like you already do those things, so then that external goal is already gone, then yeah, the really only thing keeping you coming back is the core gameplay loop of the contracts. And again, if that's enough for you, then awesome. And for me, if I'm gonna be honest, I would say that it's just that core gameplay loop in itself, like I would say that that's probably enough to keep me coming back, just trying to get powerful enough to make it to the tier 3 zone and try to survive there long enough until the exfil chopper comes. It's just the fact that the game was already designed with those external goals in mind, those very finite external goals, I might add. So regardless of how you look at it, there is at least some level of the replayability killed, no matter what your viewpoint on it is, as soon as you complete all that stuff. And as I said before, we already talked about Vanguard Zombies, and despite the fact that I did enjoy that mode, I know Duran Fong and Terra Maledicta definitely was not the taste for a lot of the community, and for some people, I mean, I feel like a lot of people can agree that the Shi No Numa remake was pretty good, but the Archon, once again, even though the Easter egg was cool, for some people, even the Easter egg wasn't necessarily hitting for them. And then when we rewind the clock 4 years, we go back to Cold War, and that one, I feel like across the board, a lot of players liked it. There was a few detractors that weren't necessarily jiving with it, but you know, it did introduce a lot of new players to the game. I remember there was a lot of Warzone streamers and multiplayer people that were coming over to the mode, and they were like, oh yeah, Zombies is actually a lot of fun. While sure, I feel like there were some elements that maybe could have been handled a little bit differently, like specifically I think like some of the perk upgrades. I feel like, I don't know, because I feel like Vanguard did it almost correctly with the way that you could upgrade your stuff in game, but I also feel like the fact that you had to run back to the same machine like 5 different times was way too egregious, especially since there was 5 different perks, which you were running between perk machines if you do the math like 25 different times. Whereas with Cold War, you know, you unlock all the stuff and then that's just kind of that. So I feel like if they could find a way to actually like implement that into the gameplay, they would strike like the perfect balance right there. And then when it comes to the map varieties in Cold War, I mean, I thought Cold War was an amazing game through and through. I mean, D Machine is one of my favorite Zombies maps of all time. Firebase Z was absolutely excellent, especially when you factor in like I don't know what you want to call them, like the holdout rounds or the defense rounds where like the order would come in, you have to like go defend the zone. Like I thought that was a really cool idea. The Easter egg was a lot of fun, and then we move up to Mauer Toten, which I feel like a lot of people can agree is probably like the best map from Cold War. For me personally, it's hard to choose because I really do love Demon. I love all the maps in that game in general, right? Like I love all of them for different reasons. Like Firebase Z, at least aesthetically speaking, and the Wonder Weapon and the Easter egg and all that, like I absolutely love that map. D Machine, once again, I love that map for its reasons. Mauer Toten for its reasons. Forsaken is just an absolute blast with the Chrysalax. So it's really hard for me to pick a favorite from that game. And then you got Outbreak, which was absolutely awesome. It was essentially like the catalyst for Modern Warfare Zombies. I definitely feel like Cold War was one of the lesser controversial zombies titles. Like, I feel all around we all kind of have at least come to a general consensus that it was a solid game. And then we go back to Black Ops 4, and yeah, you know, personally, again, this is another situation where I'm just a shill for Call of Duty in general, right? Like, there's not a single Call of Duty that I dislike, and furthermore, for zombies, I love literally, like, every zombies game, every zombies map. I'm just a sucker for zombies. But a lot of people don't feel that way, and a lot of people really don't like Black Ops 4. Even if there's some nostalgia coming into play now, or like, you know, some more people are finally going back at me and like, alright, Black Ops 4 was actually a pretty solid game. There's still a lot of people that really don't like it for particular reasons. Like, first thing that comes to mind is like all the mini-boss spam or like the changes to the perk system, which I can totally respect and understand. For me personally, none of that is enough to make me not like the game. I still love the game and still go back to it to this day. But I can at least understand why some people are looking at that and they're just like, alright, you know, like what happened to classic zombies? Which brings us all the way back here to Black Ops 3, the core point, pillar, and focus of this video, the sad state of zombies in 2024. Now, the fact that Black Ops 3 is alive is not what makes the state of zombies sad. In fact, I would say that that's like awesome that a game this old is still alive, still getting support from the community, people are still playing it, still creating content on it, and the fact that it's like one of the most popular Call of Duties, you know, still selling in like the top charts, you know, to this day, almost 10 years after release, like that is absolutely insane. What makes it sad is that in the opinion of many people in the community is that this was either the last like best Call of Duty Zombies game or was just in general the last good one. Again, for me personally, I've already been giving you guys my opinions on the games, and even though I absolutely love all of them, obviously a lot of the community doesn't share that sentiment, and that's completely okay. You know, we're all separate human beings, we all have our own opinions, and that is completely okay. We're all entitled to our own opinions, and regardless of how you may personally feel about these games, the fact that so many people in the community, you know, such a huge percentage are looking at Black Ops 3 as being like the last truly good and classic Call of Duty Zombies game really does say something. When there's that many people, you know, if it was like a few people just saying it, then like, alright, whatever. But when like so many people in the community are saying it, that really says something. I think it's time that we start selling some hats. We gotta get the Muzga on them. Make zombies great again. Part of me feels like Activision probably hates or resents Black Ops 3 for some reason because, well, yes, it is still making them money, and while that may sound like a good thing, do y'all have any idea how many people simply haven't purchased a Call of Duty since Black Ops 3 or have gone back and purchased Black Ops 3 over the new Modern Warfare 3 or over just like any of the new games in general in the last couple of years? Because while, yes, Call of Duty is still one of the best-selling, if not the best-selling game, but basically every single year unless there's another huge title out like a Rockstar game, there's still plenty of COD fans that are just sitting here on Black Ops 3 and they're like, dog, I don't ever need to upgrade. We got this infinite content with the custom zombies, which you already know Activision wishes they could have monetized, which is also sad to think that we're literally never gonna see custom zombies again. Like, you know, we could hope and wish that it would come back in Black Ops 6, but let's be honest, even if they did, just think about the new engine. Like, trying to make custom zombies on that new Call of Duty engine, first off, it's so just disconnected from that classic zombies feel like we had here in Black Ops 3, because a lot of what zombies is, or at least the way that it feels, really does come down to the engine. Like, when you think of like World of War zombies, you think of that rather glitchy, gluey feel with the zombies where when they hit you, you know, they kind of suck you in, and that's due to the engine. When you think of Black Ops 1, the way that the movement and the shooting feels, that's because of the engine. Same thing with Black Ops 2, and same thing here in Black Ops 3, which is why Black Ops 3 feels so smooth, because the movement in this game and the engine and everything like that is just so smooth. So when you try to do that on something like the new Modern Warfare engine, which is what Black Ops 6 is going to be running on, then yeah, you know, it might still feel good, but is it going to feel like classic zombies? I mean, it's hard to say. So even if they would put something like custom zombies into the game, which is a huge reason as to why Black Ops 3 is alive, but again, custom zombies isn't necessarily the only reason that this game is still alive. It's just one of the hugest ones, because again, if you check like the PlayStation top selling charts as well as the Xbox top selling charts, I mean, Black Ops 3 is still there, and again, that's on console where custom zombies doesn't even exist, which just goes to show the base game in this game with between the maps that launch with the game as well as Zombies Chronicles and all that, like this game is just genuinely that good at its base. And again, custom zombies is just like a huge bonus to that if you happen to play on PC, giving you infinite content. So all in all, I don't really even know what I was trying to achieve with this video, you know what I'm saying? This was one, oh wait, the Pack-a-Punch is on this map? I literally just noticed that, it's right back here in the corner. Hold up, is there like a custom Pack-a-Punch camo? Oh yeah, that's right, on the Modern Warfare Zombies mod, it gives you the Exclusion Zone camo from Modern Warfare Remastered, which is awesome. My weapon is called the Nebuchadnezzar. Anyways, my brain is all jumbled, it's all over the place, I've been talking for a little while now, but I really just hope Black Ops 6 Zombies is good. Whether they do round-based, whether they don't, you know, if they want to do something like they did in Modern Warfare Zombies, whatever, that's cool. I would hope that there's something at least round-based adjacent, but we'll just have to see. As long as the mode is good and as long as it is supported, that is what I care about. Yet unfortunately, at this point, ever since Black Ops 3, concessions have had to be made in literally every single Zombies game, both Treyarch and not Treyarch. Black Ops 4, literally the second half of the season, Alpha Omega and Tag der Toten, there was huge budget cuts, and Treyarch did not even make those maps. Those were made by Activision Shanghai, which is a completely separate studio, so no matter how you feel about that game, concessions were still made, and technically, the conclusion of Zombies wasn't even made by Treyarch themselves because they were pulled off to work on Cold War at the time because Sledgehammer was falling behind with their game, so that was like a whole jumbled mess. So Treyarch didn't even get to conclude their baby, which was like the Ether Zombie storyline. Or at the very least, I should say the Zombies team inside of Treyarch, because obviously, you know, Treyarch also has, I guess, other babies you could say with like the campaign storylines and the multiplayer and stuff like that, but still, for the Zombies team inside of Treyarch, they didn't even get to fully work on their own baby. And Cold War, I mean, I'm not going to talk about it in this video because I don't want YouTube to like slam this video with a bunch of restrictions and stuff like that, but I mean, if you guys remember the year that Cold War came out, yeah, there was obvious concessions that were made, and like when it comes to the release schedule of the Zombies maps, like when you look at it, like it's clear that they were literally pushing these things out shortly after they were done being developed because they were crunched to heck and back throughout the entirety of the dev cycle, just trying to get these maps out on time. Then they gave us Outbreak and everything like that, and they were truly doing their best. But I feel like the time restraints and possibly some of the lesser budget kind of started to shine through by the time that we got to something like Forsaken, where at least the other maps and modes in the game had some sort of cohesion to them, even if, you know, something like Outbreak was running on like, you know, the fire team maps from the multiplayer, you know, there was still enough cohesion there. But by the time we got to Forsaken, where it was just kind of like stuff right from the campaign, and while yes, they used to do that in the older COD Zombies games, it was pretty apparent in that one, if I'm going to be honest, where they were really just trying to stitch stuff together just to get, you know, something out on time. And as much as I love the Wonder Weapon in that map, the Easter egg in that map, yeah, again, it was just kind of obvious. We did still get a lot of great content in Cold War, don't get me wrong. We got like Dead Ops Arcade 3, the Onslaught mode, and all the other modes that I mentioned before, which is great and all, but still, concessions were made. Vanguard Zombies, very obvious concessions were made, and Modern Warfare Zombies, I mean, we talked about it towards the beginning of this video, where literally the entire original dev team has just been pulled from the mode, and Treyarch isn't even working on it anymore. And while that's cool, let Treyarch work on their own game. You know, their game is coming out in a couple of months. Sure, I get it. I mean, yeah, Sledgehammer's working on it now. While, yes, it was Sledgehammer's game to begin with, that was also Treyarch's mode specifically to begin with that they were developing, and they were pulled off of it. And again, it's just kind of like a skeleton crew at this point, and we're not even getting any more substantial content updates, and we're only halfway through the year. So, you know, that's a thing. But alas, here we are. I'm just hoping for good things with Black Ops 6, and at this point, Black Ops 3, a game from, it's gonna be 9 years at this point this year, is essentially the most alive Call of Duty Zombies game in terms of player counts and also in terms of like content and stuff like that. It probably could be argued that maybe sometimes Black Ops 4 or Cold War maybe has more players in certain aspects, or maybe like some days Cold War has more players, since that is a more current Call of Duty game. But I feel like generally speaking, Black Ops 3 is probably still the most popular and talked about in general, especially when you factor in all the community support and custom maps and all that. But anyway, those are just kind of my thoughts. I just kind of felt like turning on the camera and rambling for a bit about the current state of Call of Duty Zombies in 2024, my hopes for Black Ops 6, and just, I don't know. You know, it's at that point where we used to rely on Treyarch to keep the games alive with new great updates, you know, back there in Black Ops 2, looking towards the next DLC, like, oh yeah, Mob of the Dead's coming out, Buried's coming out, and then Origins is coming out, and same thing in Black Ops 3, where we were always looking towards the next map, ooh, Horizon Rock, ooh, Zetsubo, Gorod, and then Rev, but now we're at the point of, oh, when's the next community custom map coming out? You know what I mean? The community is really keeping this game alive, so while there's nothing wrong with that, while I love custom zombies, I really hope we can get back to at least a balance where it's like we can both equally look forward to in an excited manner of, ooh, what's the next zombies thing, and what's the next custom zombies thing. And it would be doubly great if they bring back custom zombies in the new game somehow, but we already talked about all of that, and there could be negatives and positives to it. But anyways, yeah, I'll shut up now. Those are just all my thoughts on all this at the moment, and again, I'd love to hear from you guys and your thoughts on literally all of this. But anyway, as always, massive shout out to all the Patreon channel members, taking all in the low ball tier, and your shout out to all in the mid ball tier, my last game, daddy, man in the base, shout out on G tier, Run, Vince, Cheese Gold. Thank you guys so much, guys, are literal legends. I love you. Thank you guys for watching. Have an amazing day. Stay beautiful. I love you all. Peace.